They have a massive human effigy, and it's supposed to burn on Saturday, but the human effigy, of course, got canceled because of the rains that we had, which of course made international news. Just to give you guys a sense of what this looks like, this is your Exodus lineup. Check out some of the rigs. It's a wild show. So everybody who's heard about Burning Man, for the most part, knows of it as a massive gathering in the desert. It's a party. It's known for its sexuality, for its sensuality. That's there. Absolutely, no question. But underneath that, you can go to workshops with some of the leading players in the world of politics, culture, religion. There's a lot of discussion on psychedelics. In fact, that was one of the things that was really noteworthy. In fact, we have two folks from our team, Brian and Audrey Vanderclay, who've been coming with me to regional burns, and this is their second time to Burning Man with me. And so one of the workshops we were fortunate to sit in on was Jesus and Psychedelics, and revolving around the question of integrating psychedelics into Christianity. So we had Methodist pastors, Lutheran pastors,
former pastors,
all talking about how to use psychedelics so they could feel Jesus, which is interesting, Brannon, because at the Parliament of World Religions 2 weeks ago, we did a workshop where I sat through with Richard Rohr discussing how to integrate psychedelics into seminary and to bring this into the church culture through that angle.
Let me just stop you there for a second, because what races through my mind is the false Christs that Jesus himself warned about, false Christs, false messiahs. I'm thinking of Helen Schuckman, who channeled an entity called Jesus, she said, to write the Course in Miracles, but, wanted to make it clear he was not the Jesus of the Bible. I'm thinking about Aldous Huxley and his, or was it Julian Huxley? I think it was Aldous Huxley, having his conversation with Timothy O'Leary, and how we need to use psychotropic drugs to open up humanity to more than one reality. But be careful, because the opposition we have run into are the Christians with their one God and one reality. And then they say to each other, but you and I both know, with or without us, we're going to a time when drugs will be used to have people open up their understanding of many realities. It sounds right in keeping with what, these guys were saying many, many decades ago.
Absolutely. And this is really an outgrowth of that thinking. It has its roots in the counterculture of the 1960s. It has its roots, obviously, in Silicon Valley significantly. And, of course, its worldview historically is, we're starting to move again, has this worldview historically rooted in Huxley, Timothy Leary, and within that milieu. So Burning Man is really the crossroads of so many things happening at the same time, and that's why I've been attending it. This is my fourth time here in the desert. So we do the research, because this is where the sharp edge of the spear is really projected.
Okay, so why would my 19 or 20 and 21-year-old guys in the control room never have heard of Burning Man? What is the average age of the people attending? Now, why are you laughing, number one? But number two, what's the average age of the people that attend?
The average age, I understand, is 34 or 36. Most people who come are in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Tons of people in the 60s and 70s. I ran into one lady who was in her 80s. This is not a young person's event per se. Number one, it's expensive. It is super, super expensive to get in. And then
what do you mean? What do you mean? The tickets cost how much?
The low-end tickets start at $575, I believe, and then move up to $2,500 a ticket. And then, of course, you have to get here. You've got to have all of your equipment for the week. There is no vendors, so you have to bring in all your own food, all your own water. You pack out all your own garbage. I'm surrounded right now. I mean, there's a great big huge rig in front of me that's got to be worth close to, I would think, maybe $250,000 or more. It's just, this is not a young person's event per se, but it is especially a West Coast event. This is San Francisco. This is Los Angeles. I ran into a lot of people from Utah. I did surveys. So Brian and Audrey helped me do almost, I think we're close to 420 or 430 surveys.
And what do you ask the folks? When you ask them, what kind of questions are you asking those folks?
Oh, hang on 1 second. I'll try to snag one of my surveys out the back. They are worldview surveys, asking what religion they came out of. This is, sorry, Brannon. This is all off the cuff.
Yeah, that's what makes this interview so interesting. Actually, we're getting a real taste of your exiting, and you're telling it's going to take several hours to get out. Just for the folks who don't know, they had a massive rainstorm. It flooded this. Is that a lake bed you're on?
Yes, it's a massive lake bed, hundreds and hundreds of square miles of not just regular dust or sand. It's an alkali lake bed. So on Monday night, we got hit with a massive dust storm, literally blinded us. We were at the temple. That's another feature of this community, a massive, massive temple. And I mean, crazy huge. And we got caught in a huge dust storm there. And so it's an alkali lake bed, alkali dust, and it gets into everything. It's beautiful today. We don't have any dust storms right now. And then, of course, the oddity was that we had a huge rainfall for a day and a half, and that turns the whole place into a quagmire. Vehicles are stuck, art cars are stuck, people were walking out, and yet at the same time, it was pretty chill. Folks realized.
And yet you told me on the phone when you did get a signal out on Sunday or Monday. Sunday. You told me that you had 15 to 20 pounds of this gook on your feet per foot, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. There's massive ruts all over the place. They're going to have a hard time cleaning everything up.
Who owns the land? The state?
No, this is federal government, Bureau of Land Management.
So they rent it? Or what?
Yeah, there's a permitting process, and that is dependent on how well the lake bed is left after the event is over. So it is a leave no trace event. People clean everything up, or they're supposed to. But with the massive mud we had, that's going to be really difficult.
And by the way, there are very, very wealthy people that fly in on their jets and then come in there, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One moment. I got to close windows here because this could be loud for you. Yes, we have corporate jets. We have lots of aircraft that fly in. I was at the airport for a while doing surveys. This is where Google comes to play. This is where Silicon Valley comes to play. Lots of cryptocurrency leaders, lots of individuals high up within the realm of decentralized finance. You can go to workshops on all of those topics. In 2019, when I was here, we had the chief economist from the World Bank doing research on how they can integrate the principles and the activities of Burning Man into World Bank projects. 2019, we had, I think, 52 U.S. mayors surveying the city, attending it so that they could take home lessons learned. So this is more than just simply a park.
52 American mayors surveying Burning Man to figure out how they can integrate it back at home. So that should make people feel really good. I'm being sarcastic. Because Burning Man is basically a new age, occultic, we will be like gods, free sex, free love. I mean, it's Woodstock, 1960s, new age, our psychotropic drugs, altered states of consciousness, worldviews being represented there. I mean, I saw today, if I can find it while you're talking, they actually erected a Tower of Babel there this year, did they not?
Yes. In fact, I was inside the tower. I took lots of pictures. Last night they burned the tower, so I was there while the tower was consumed in flame. So we go to do the research because this is, again, where you have some of the leading figures in the global community, including people from the young leaders of the World Economic Forum. We have run into them here, too. And I know that they were, again, on site as well. The other thing that we do is when we have the opportunity, we have conversations around Christian subjects, around Jesus Christ and who God is. So last night, when Babel, the tower, was burning, we had a lady sitting beside us. She struck a conversation with Brian, our partner. Brian's a blacksmith. He had a bunch of small crosses in his bag, and they had been in this conversation. And for some reason, Brian pulls out a cross, hands it to her, and just simply says, "Trust Jesus."